It's hard to imagine that here we are, the week 17. Just hard to imagine. It just happened so fast. It jumped on us kind of here, and so I'm not saying we're real nostalgic or melancholy or whatever those words are, but it just happened pretty quick, and so we're ready to finish with a bang here. We've got to play a really good football game. We've had a hard time with the Cardinals in years past, and we got to make sure we take care of business and play good football and give ourselves a chance. So we'll see what happens.
He was talking yesterday about kind of that when you guys sat down between week 2 and 3 and just kind of talked about getting the running game going and everything. What do you remember kind of about that meeting and then what obviously came out of it?
Talk about the running game, getting that going. Yeah. We had to let some things go to do that. You know, we had to leave some things off the list. You know, that we've been working on to kind of get them out of the way, so there wouldn't be distractions to us as we were pecking our way through. You know, kind of developing the run game. So it was a good ball. You know, it was really the conversation started after week 1, and then we adjusted from week 1 to week 2. It didn't look like it, and that's when we had to really make a shift. And so it was real clear to us, you know, that we needed to do something. So we did.
And then what's the job he's done this season, coming in and what you guys are accomplishing?
Yeah, you know, I've talked about him a lot because it's been obvious that he's had an impact on all of us, and like I started with. The conversation about Brian was that he was so well versed in so many things. He really could, you know, he could interpret everything that we had done, bring the suggestions and the stuff that he had done at other places, and help us put it all together. You know, and I thought that was really obvious from the start. His effect on Russell started early. You could see that they were communicating on a really high level. You could see that there was going to be a lot of potential for growth there, which we've seen. Russell has really had a great year in all ways, but in terms of really just expanding in ball, he has. He's taken into account a lot of things that we didn't give him, you know, the chance to do in the past. He's demonstrated the, you know, command of all that. That's been great. I think all of that has to do with Brian, you know, tapping into what made sense and, you know, what Russ could work with. And then he's been really demanding and tough on the whole offense and throughout. And he brought us about. We got some identity to us. We know who we are, and we're excited about finishing up.
Why was it important to you to keep a lot of what you were doing and not completely scrap the offense like you see a lot of teams do when they change?
Well, there was no reason to. There was no reason to do that. We had done a lot of great things. We've won a lot of games doing what we do, and we put on a lot of yards and, you know, over the years, and scored a lot of points and all that stuff. And so it was really important that we maintained things that we had grown with, and that Russ and the other guys and Doug and Tyler and those guys that had done in the past, to just expedite the process, you know, and you don't need to start from scratch and throw it out, you know. So we didn't, but that causes that's a challenge to the coaching staff, you know, and all. I remember when I went to San Francisco years ago, and they had a notebook that was 17, 18 years old, you know, and there was hundreds of choices and things in there, and it was a tremendous mystery to uncover and to try to figure it out, and but you want to make it as easy as you can for the players so they can learn and play fast and understand all that. So that's all of those considerations go in, which is a lot, and so that's what we went through.
What are the challenges of bringing in a new coordinator, a new coach to your system, somebody who you hadn't been necessarily familiar with in the past, like Brian or some guys throughout the years, and getting them into your system and all that?
Nothing unique about our system, although, you know, philosophically, we're not asking for a new philosophy. You know what I mean? We're not asking for a guy to bring in all the new ideas and a new approach. We've found the way we like playing and the way we believe in, and we found success in, and so he had to adapt to that. So that's a challenge, but that was all talked out real, you know, immediately in our conversations and all. But there's no unique aspects of our makeup that was going to make it hard on somebody, you know, unless I'm a jerk to him and don't listen to him, you know, which obviously I'm not, but except for sometimes. But you know, it's just so that it's just really, it's dynamics. It's working through the dynamics and the you know, people and communications and interpretation and all that stuff. That's the challenge, and it's a really exciting challenge for coaches, because we have to dig back into why we do things and help somebody else understand it, make sense of that, see where it fits, put all those things together. It's a great puzzle that we put together, and it takes a long time, and it takes good openness and you know, good relationship building as well as you go through it, or you can get stuck. And so that's kind of how it happens. But I don't think it's that unique to us, other than we're, you know, pretty solidly committed to how we want to do it.
How real and important is sustaining momentum in a game like this going into the playoffs? How real a factor can momentum be?
Well, I particularly think it's a part of the discipline of performance, and that you don't allow yourself to say that this game isn't as important as some other game. And I know that there's coaches, and you guys have all heard it for years, that you can only get up so many times a year. You can only have so many big games and all that. I just flat out know that's not true. I just know it's not true. But I understand why people say that, and we don't subscribe to that thinking. And we're gonna go for it every frickin' time, forever, no matter where it is or when it is, so that we learn to find the edge that it takes to stay consistent and stay good. I don't think it shows up one game to the next. I think it shows up when you look back over a long period of time that you've minimized the ups and downs. I mean, we have some numbers in our background in our years here, and we had them at SC too, where there aren't a lot of games that were really outlier games for us to the negative. We've been pretty consistent over a really long time. I think that's a statement of what this mentality is all about. That you just don't allow yourself to take a breath and kick back and put your feet up. You don't get to do that. You just keep pushing and keep going, and you only learn one way to do it. It's hard enough to do it if you only have one way, and to maintain the habits and the consistency and the mentality and all of the things you have to do to maintain a high level of performance over a long period of time. So it's just too precious, and it's not worth cracking the egg and then starting over again. I just don't want to do that, and it's worked out. And I don't feel like I'm driving these guys into the dirt, by the way we do it mentally. I feel like they work to establish a discipline that allows them to have a manner in how they do this, and they have habits that they create, and they have regimens that they live by, and that's what gives them the chance to keep coming back. And we just don't want to mess with those, and they're too precious, and it's fleeting. It's so fleeting. It goes away in a heartbeat. Normal teams go up and down all the time. And that's not the way we want to do it. We want to be uncommonly committed to the discipline of this, and so it takes practice, and I got to do a great job of it. And I hope you never hear me go off the rails on any way, because I've got to be the epitome of the consistency if they're going to do it, and so that's why I always have the same answers. Okay, that's about time.
What'd you learn about JR this weekend? What he's doing?
He had a great week. He was fine. Did everything. Oh, I'm sorry. I said Jay Reed. J.R. Sweezy, my bad. Yeah. Sweezy improved during the week. He got really good, consistent information in the checks that we made around the country on what he has, because it's an unusual little thing that he's dealing with. It's real uncomfortable. He's got some swelling that he's dealing with. It's probably a 3 to 4 week, a 3 to 4 week recovery for most people, and he's going to do it in 2 weeks. So he'll be ready next week.
How's Doug?
He did fine. He made it through the week. He continues to carry stuff that's happened to him during the season, but he's been just a rock. I mean, he's ready to go.
DJ Fluker?
Fluke's game day, but Fluke made real progress this week, and he did some things that helped him, and so we're looking forward to him being ready to go if he can make it through the Sunday workout.
Tetrick's status for the game?
I don't know if he's questionable or whatever. Questionable.
What exactly happened with his ankle? We were talking about his chest, but I don't think.
Yeah, he's got an irritation in the back of his ankle, kind of around his Achilles. It's not an Achilles injury, but we thought it was for a little bit. But he just hasn't quite made it through it to our satisfaction yet. But he's going to try, and we'll take a look at him on Sunday.
And Rashad looks like he's good.
He practiced all week, and we'll find out. Make sure he'll have a workout on Sunday also. We'll have Olympics going on out there in the field if you guys want to come out early.
I mean, how much do you weigh into on decisions like that? The fact that you might have a playoff game 6 days later.
Has nothing to do with it.
Brad McDougall, did you rest him this week more than anything else?
Yes, he practiced today. Did fine.
Anything else?
Hamstrings and ankles.